Show us. That doesn't really work, does it? Have you tried? Oh, that's good. Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Better. So much better. What a fantastic, fantastic tune. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. I've been Donald Trump. Thank you and good night.
And what time?
This one's from Jeremy in Wisconsin. And it says, Tuffy brand coffee is the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm going to find out who this quartering character is. And when I do, he's going to get a bit of the old ice-troll treatment.
From loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're gonna give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm gonna let you keep your hand.
Oh, it's Friday. It's Friday. How are you all doing? Looks like a lot of people are saying that the app was working better today. That's good to know if true. That's good. Now, interestingly, today I am, it's Lone Wolf Cast, so I'm streaming from OBS instead of Rumble Studio. So it'll be interesting to find out if it's actually Rumble Studio or StreamYard that's causing that. I meant to kind of like double check that last Friday when we did Lone Wolf Cast 2. And if it is Rumble Studio, then I'll use something else, or if it's StreamYard, I'll use something else, because definitely don't want you all to get, frustrated at the start of every stream. I prefer that to be further in the middle. I prefer you to be enraged like more towards the middle of the show than right away at the beginning. That's just kind of what I like to do. I like to keep everyone happy. Yeah, ingress OBS to Rumble Studio, no issues. Well, that's what I am doing now. So it wouldn't be Rumble Studio then. It would be StreamYard, potentially, causing the problem, right? Because I'm still going through Rumble Studio. Yeah, I can try. I I can talk to Crowder. He uses some software for phoning people in. I think Tim uses something different too, so I can try something outside of StreamYard then. We'll see if it's back on Monday, you know? I know I'm a little late today. I'm burnt out, boys. Trying to stay on top of things, you know? Keep it crack-a-lackin', you know? Let's see. So somebody's a tax expert about running a farm. The only way quarter pounder farm property tax grift will work is if he hires illegal workers. That's just not true. I can farm it myself. You know, I have a tractor of my own. And, you know, Chris's Tree Farm does not require daily migrant labor. Sunflower Farm. Also, the way most people actually do it, if you understood property ownership, is that I would just walk next door to the farmer on my right or walk next door to the farmer on my left and say, hey, you can farm my land for free. Right? I get the tax benefit. They get a small amount of crops for free. Everybody wins. That's how most people actually do this, from what I understand, you know. Sunflower farms are a big draw for photographers too. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that because then you open yourself up like, you know, one of those dorks like steps in a pothole and they sue you or something like that. But there's a sunflower farm near my home. It's sunflowers and honey. And so they have honey that is like, you know, from bees that pollinate sunflowers seeds, sunflower trees, sunflowers, gee, baloo. And so that we get a bottle or two of that. Yeah, there is a CRP program too. I have a portion of my property that is already identified as wetland. So but Jerry, my avocado toast will go up without slaves. Well, I mean, look, I don't want your avocado toast to go up, so I will bring some slaves in just for avocados. Now, my wife has been growing an avocado tree for 3 years, and we have bore exactly one avocado. So I don't know what the turnaround's going to be, but you know. I see a lot of people that want to talk about sticks. I haven't talked to Sticks in over a year. If you want your Sticks drama, go ask him. I don't know. As far as I know, he had those charges dismissed, whatever the charges even were. I'm not his fucking dad. I'm not his wife, his mom. He doesn't work for me anymore. So, you know, if you want me to be responsible for what another grown man does fucking 10 states away from me, I mean, you're going to have to keep waiting. Tree needs to be 5 to 8 years old. Yeah, I know. It's growing. We've had it for 3 years, and each year it gets a little bit better. So it'll be interesting. We'll have to see about the farm. My wife definitely wouldn't want like cattle back there or something. It'd have to be something pretty. I thought you said he was convicted like 5 months ago. I don't even know if he was convicted. Was he? Again, personal drama doesn't work for me. Don't care. Anyway, let's talk about. I've got to record a stream for Tuesday this weekend too. A booty farm? I don't know. It's Wisconsin. Maybe if I was in Miami. He had his case dropped and they hit him with new charges. Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't know. None of my business. Let's talk about this thing here first. Okay. What are you guys up to this weekend? A lot of big booty Latina activities? Avocado toast. I mean, I can see if you're a vegetarian why that would be good, but why wouldn't you get like a BLA? That's what I usually get, like TBA, turkey bacon avocado on toast, but like just avocado on toast, that's fucking dumb. And like, why would you pay any more than $1 for that? An avocado's like 50 cents. You see that Sarah Stalker clip, a rep from Kentucky? No, I haven't. What is it? What was I looking up? Sarah Stalker? Oh my God, this chick.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons.
Why?
Because it's a point of privilege.
No, it isn't.
That I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman.
So you have even more privilege. Some might say that the white women have the most privilege of anybody.
If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of even greater privilege. I think we're...
Oh my God. This stuff is so passé. You know? LGBT, lettuce, guac, bacon, tomato. That might be okay. That might be okay. Might be okay. I want to talk about this. Okay. We've got a... Oh my God. The contractor better not be here right now. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. They weren't supposed to be here till 2 o'clock. Give me just 30 seconds, guys. Sorry. Not that one. This one down over here. one isn't deadbolt. Okay, I'm back. All right. Let me go back to this. Sorry, folks. Nothing like walking away from 20,000 people. I fucked up. I screwed up I started an hour late and everything got messed up. So my apologies. Okay, quick, everyone else. All right, guys. Let's see. Yeah, the dogs are going berserk outside. All right, I'm back. The band sticks. My uncle really liked them. I think what's their hit? What's the one I know? They're not like "Don't Stop Believing." That's not them, right? I don't. They're late 70s, right? Renegade. Yeah. Okay. Sailing Away. Isn't that fucking Jethro Tull? Oh no, that's Skating Away on the Thin Ice of a New Day. Yeah. Come Sail Away. Oh yeah. Oh, they have a shitload of them. Okay. Okay. Let's get on this. There's a bit of a Charlie Kirk update. Then there is an potential deportation. I had a video I wanted to share with you guys first that made me chuckle. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. This guy showed no chill. No, he could have waited until she got to the grass. She could have waited. But I'm glad he didn't.
You're gonna get tased.
Now there's a lot of friction going on there. This is probably the fastest this woman's ever run in her life. Okay.
You're gonna get tased. Taser.
Now, right now, he could have waited about a few more seconds until she's not on the hot blacktop. But, decisions were made. Choices were made. It just hurts to look.
Lay on the ground. Right now, you're gonna get it again. Lay on the ground or you're gonna get it again.
That's a big back going down.
1031, taser deployed. You're gonna get it again. Roll over on your stomach.
That's a big back going down. Oh, she rode the lightning. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, dude, I don't know why anyone thinks they can. Oh, dang, that's a big flippin'. Was that the prongs?
If you hadn't ran from me, then yes.
I have been tased before, but it not with the deployable one, just with the handheld one. And this one, I want to see, what does he pull this needle? Is that the prongs?
You may have a brief pinch.
Oh, dang, dude, I didn't know they were that big. Ugh. Holy crap, I didn't know they were that, like that. I didn't know they were like, yeah, that. I did not know that they, like, that goes in deep. It wasn't a cattle prod. It was it was actual. So I bought my wife a taser and I'm like, let me see if this could stop anybody. Because all of her stupid girlfriends were like, just get a taser. And like, I just like, all right, hit me. And I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but it wouldn't have stopped me at all. Yeah. I caught shoot me in the face with a taser. Oh my God. Oh, you caught the probes in your hands? Either way, that's going to zap. That's not going to feel good, but I'd prefer not to get tased in the face. Bison says, according, when will you streamers learn streamer is permanently borked? Also, check out Styx's backsplash on X. One of his followers added the explicit pic to the arrest, and God, does it go hard. Well, I wish him all the best. I'm not trying to get involved in anyone's legal battles. The what were you gonna say before? What'd you say before that? Oh, StreamYard. Yeah, I'll find what's the best alternative to StreamYard for, like, I guess I could use Zoom, or I could use if there's something like Gorilla with a U, Gorilla Network or something like that. I think that's what Crowder uses. I'm not totally sure though. Taser's the one that shoots with the S. Taser's the one you got your wife. Wait. I don't think you can, in Wisconsin, I don't think you can own the kind that shoot. I think that's illegal. Only cops can carry those. I can carry my gun, my sidearm, but I can't carry a taser, which is hilarious. Venezuela used the guerrilla networks. That's also true. Yeah. Okay, so I want to get to this. Let's get to this. A couple of notes from the trial yesterday, the Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk trial. Then we've got some notes from possible deportation of a government official, Ilhan Omar, who allegedly married her brother. I don't think it's alleged. I think it's pretty much, it's like a open secret. Now, I don't know if that's normal where she's from, but I could tell you that is immigration fraud. So if this person's end up getting expelled, probably. That's what I'm guessing. But you know what's actually crazy to me isn't it funny how basically like everybody knew, quote unquote, that this had happened, right? And like this chick's been in the government for 8 years now, and nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, she married her brother to get immigration status, so she could, which, okay, fine, that's one thing. That's a whole different conversation. But then, like, you probably shouldn't be serving in the government. I think that's kind of the middle of the road take there. Like, I can understand why someone might want to get around, green card. I had a friend who had a green card marriage. Don't tell Tom Homan. And it was to this really hot chick. But I can't remember. I think they got caught. So I remember at one night, I don't know where it came up, like, he had to have these pictures in his wallet so that if like immigration ever like found out that it would look like he was married or something like that. And it was like this hot blonde chick. And I was like, what the hell? Why are you skeeving on like these uggos at the bar? And one time he got like super drunk and like admitted it to me. And I was like, well, hot chick. We could always use more of them. But I actually think he was getting paid. Like, he was getting paid to pretend he was her husband, even though she had another husband here in America that was also either an illegal or an immigrant or something like that. And I think he eventually did get caught. I know he got locked up for something. He took kind of a rough turn. Last time I saw him, he was on pills pretty hard. That hillbilly heroin. And I mean, obviously, not okay with the crime stuff, but he's always a cool guy with me, and like I wasn't gonna dime him out. Ilhan is an asylum case. She married her brother so that he could get over here. Okay. Thank you, Omega. So she had asylum, then she committed immigration fraud to bring her brother over here. Is her brother Dirty Dandy, or is that her second husband? This like gay dude. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the actual meat and potatoes. I know there's supposed to be a video today too coming out from Walsh that you lose asylum if you commit fraud. Okay, so that's the path they're gonna take. Got it. Got it. Thanks for that correction. Yeah, I don't know any gay Somalians, but this guy, if I did, this guy's definitely gay. I don't have like strong gaydar. I wasn't blessed with that. But if I had to, like, gun to my head, I mean, this guy's definitely. I'm just saying. Not a lot of brothers out in hot pants that I see. Maybe like he might be like a dude Dahmer would be into. That might be a thing. But I don't know. Like this guy was also involved in some of the fraud too. So we're gonna look at that. Oh, the gay dude is his brother. I can't keep all this straight. I agree with Pimp on Olympia. All big booty Latinas can stay to the front of the line. I agree with that. All big booty Latinas to the front of the line. I think if you put to a national popular vote, it would be one of the most popular policies in history. Yeah. All right, so let me get this. All right, so we had Tyler Robinson's first appearance in court yesterday, and there's some interesting stuff that has come out of that. First, there was a lot of laughing and joking going on, which I don't know if, people laugh at weird times. Like, I don't know if you can necessarily like make that a huge thing, like definitely point to like, oh, this guy's a crazy person. But he did also get caught. He did get caught telling his lawyer that he thinks about the shooting every single day, and saying something along the lines like, oh, he had a wife or something like that. We don't know the context of that second phrase, but probably not a good look. I'm sure that's going to come up at trial now 100%. Now, the way we know that's what he said is via a lip reader. So I don't know if lip readers stand up in court or not. I definitely know that's a skill to have. But if you remember, there was that gait analysis person that did the pipe bomber. This person walks a certain way, and this other person was a 99% match for walking the same way, and therefore they must have done it. Well, that was clearly never, submissible in court. Otherwise, they would have charged that woman. But certainly, she went on to a illustrious career at the CIA. So I guess we'll probably never know. They did find a furry, a guy who's a furry to play that role. So, I don't know about that. But then Jonathan Turley came out and said that the evidence against Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, which is Tyler Robinson, is the strongest he's ever seen in a case. Now, I don't really know how Jonathan Turley has access to all of the evidence. We know that there's DNA matching evidence on the gun, the bullets, and at the spot that the shot was fired. I think it's relatively irrefutable that Tyler Robinson was the person that fired the shot at this point. I've been convinced of that for a very long time. But there still are many other questions, like, was he working with anyone else? It's certainly possible. I think his trans boyfriend was probably in on the planning, and is probably turned witness, is in witness protection, and will probably turn state's prosecutor in exchange for no charges. I can almost guarantee that's how this is going to play out in June or July, because that dude just disappeared off the face of the earth ever since he got into custody. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see him testifying at trial. If you see him testify at trial, that means, the state gave him some sort of deal. That's my guess. But here's this clip from Jonathan Turley talking about some of the evidence.
Okay, here with us is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, George Washington University law professor. Now, Jonathan, the judge allowed the camera.
And again, this Jonathan Turley guy would have no idea how much evidence they actually have. So I want to point that out and be fair and transparent.
In the court just for today, for this preliminary, conversation, deliberation on this, move the public out as they were talking about the concerns of both parties. But I have a question. Given the fact that this is fairly well-established judicial, discretion.
By the way, what do you call that when like people have the same shape of the face? That's not is physiognomy? Is that what the word is? Like this dude looks exactly like, have you seen his face side by side with the JFK assassin? Was it the JFK assassin or was it the Patsy that they put his face to face? Like he has the exact same physiognomy or physiology or bone structure or phrenology or whatever it is, I don't know, as no, isn't phrenology the thing that they used to do, like they feel your head and they tell you like what your IQ is or something like that? He looks just like Thomas Matthew Crooks too. The no chin, the like the weird no chin face. He looks like just like Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he looks just like I think the JFK assassin. I'd have to go back and look at that actual X post and see. But boy, they look very. They seem to Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah. They all look the same, don't they? I wonder if there's something like if you're an adult man, thinning hair, no chin, you're on a watch list. Like, I don't know. It seems like there's something here going on.
And standards of discretion. Why on earth is this taking until February to decide this one issue?
Yeah, they're definitely, the case is obviously complicated. Literally everybody is trying to run this out at this point. I want to see the evidence that they have. Yeah, low testosterone face, soy face. Yeah, I'd buy that. Cuck face. Yeah, that's another good one. Like, these are the type of guys who have a girl that's their best friend, right? Like that kind of stuff.
Well, this is a very deliberative judge, and I've been impressed with him overall. He's I think, handling the case well. It is not moving at a clip that one would hope for. It's definitely going a bit slower, but I think that reflects the fact that this judge wants to be very cautious. You know, the fact is, this is a case with overwhelming evidence. I mean, the prosecutors could probably lose 90% of this evidence in a suppression hearing and still secure an easy conviction. He has a presumption of innocence, but the evidence here you can't ignore is just the strongest I've ever seen in a case. So the real concern for the court is not just he has to protect the rights of the defendant, which is the primary concern on these questions, but also he doesn't want to commit reversible error, because that tends to victimize the family again, because they have to go through this again. So he's being very, very cautious. He's moving a bit slower, but it's a deliberative pace.
So, I mean, again, I don't know what evidence he's speaking of in terms of it may be just what's publicly available. Calling that strong, I mean, DNA evidence is pretty strong, but people have beaten that case before. And that's, we don't know what other, obviously there's the text message confession, Discord confession, phone calls. We don't know what all happened, before and after all of that, but it's interesting. Then when you talk about some of the thing yesterday saying, in court, lip reader saying, he said he thinks about the shooting every single day when he wakes up. It's causing him like mental anguish and strife. You could argue that he thinks about it because he's being falsely accused. I wouldn't make that argument. I would think that this guy is proud of what he did. I don't think, I think he's going to make it all the way to trial because he wants the credit for it. That's generally what you see with like ideologically driven assassinations. There was a lot of concern early on with like, oh my gosh, he's not going to make it. This dude wants to make it. He wants the trial. He wants to be televised. I think that is really part of it. You guys know I'm going to be at meeting with a lot of people in the next week or two as well. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this guy does not look remorseful. He's laughing and joking in court, which again, it may be unrelated, but at the same time, like your lawyer didn't say like, bro, keep a straight face. He also wear a very particular tie, which is the same colors of a flag that represents his boyfriend. I don't think that was a mistake. And This is why he shouldn't have been allowed to wear street clothes, in my opinion, because he gets to send his little messages out to his supporters in this manner. The big question is, was anyone else involved? To me, there's a couple of pieces of evidence that really point to that. Obviously, the several people tweeting or sharing on Instagram before the shooting ever happened that it was going to happen. So obviously, that was not a coincidence. And now, does that mean they were involved in the planning? Not necessarily. It just means maybe they knew. If they then, there's those people, obviously Lance Twiggs, who has disappeared off the face of the earth, who was schizoid, schizophrenic, had all sorts of problems. Do I think that he was involved? Yes. I mean, that seems almost impossible. You share a bedroom with someone every night. You have an ideologically driven assassination because you felt like this person was attacking your boyfriend. And it seems extremely unlikely that Tyler Robinson wouldn't have shared any of these details. I mean, I think that, all levels of the quote unquote conspiracy theories around this, I think all levels of it would probably agree that Lance Twiggs knew something about it. He at the very least knew it was going to happen, which I'm not totally sure if that's actually a crime. If you know a crime is about to happen and you don't report it, I don't think that that's illegal. So, I don't know if he was involved in planning it, which is what I suspect. He was involved in maybe the cover up, but he's definitely a witness protection though. This is 100%. He's in witness protection. He will almost certainly testify at the trial. That's my guess. And that's the facts. Like, I'm sticking to the facts of the case that we have now. I know I talked about yesterday, like there's all these personalities, whether it's Candace Owens or, Tucker Carlson or all these people having their own opinions on it. I'm trying to just, for the duration, I'm just going to stick to the facts of the case because I don't want to get mired in like personal drama and because I think it's distracting. And, look, if some of these people are right about the case and there's more to it, then I sure hope it's being investigated and that it comes out at trial. If they're wrong, then they're just being distractions and divisive. So, I mean, I think ultimately there's not a lot, there's no value in really saying, oh, this is what they said, this is what, stick to the trial. And that's just, I think that's the important thing. So we'll see more. We'll see more about this. I don't know if they can submit the lip reader thing. I certainly think they could ask, hey, why were you saying you're thinking about the shooting every day? Why were you saying, so what if she had a wife? Or so what if he had a wife? These are things that probably could get asked at trial, but I just don't know. They can just say, well, a lip reader's not, reliable. And certainly I've seen a lot of lip readers get things very wrong. So I don't know. Maybe he was saying, I think about pizza every day. I don't know. We'd have to get more context there. But as from what we know, this judge is saying that they are going to televise everything or stream everything. I will send somebody on site. I will send our correspondent, Hannah Claire, to Utah for the trial and have her be on site daily during the trial. That's part of our plan. So we're saving up money for that so we can send her there. We figure she's the best odds because she has White House credentials, Pentagon credentials. And so she's already had like all the legal background checks. So if we can get her, I doubt she'll be able to get in the courtroom, but we could have her on location at least, something like that. So it's going to be an interesting time when this trial does kick off. And hopefully I can get her an Airbnb for a reasonable price. So what do you guys think? Not a lot here. I mean, there's something. I mean, this guy's saying, hey, their evidence is really good. I don't think that really means a hell of a lot because he doesn't know what they really have. I don't think anyone really knows everything that they have. I just think the prosecution is probably being extremely tight-lipped. They don't really want, now I can talk to I plan to talk. I have a meeting set up, or an interview with Russell Brand set up. So I'm going to talk to him about, what he saw. I'm out to Thomas Massey too, so we should be able to talk to him. I'm trying to get some other people close to the case that are willing to come on camera and talk to us about it. And I think that it's going to be, I don't think we're going to see much of what prosecution, quote unquote, has. But I do think it's going to be pretty interesting to see kind of shake out and see exactly what they have. I think, ideally the trial would be happening January, but I don't think we're going to see it until, next summer, maybe even next fall. They're probably going to, Chat says they tend to slow walk slam dunk cases since they don't want fuck ups. Yeah, I would buy that too. I mean, whether or not you're bought into the he's a patsy or Israel did it or whatever. If you just go based on what we've been told, if they really have DNA evidence on the casings, DNA evidence on the gun, DNA evidence on the roof, that's like a 360 dunk from the free throw line. It doesn't really get more secure than that unless the defense can somehow get that DNA test thrown out. Then you'd have something interesting. Then you'd only be down to, I don't know, the confession via phone call, the confession via Discord, and the confession via text message. So then you'd have to get all three of those confessions thrown out, plus the confession to the police, plus the confession to his parents. There's, you'd have to get all of that thrown out, and then you'd be maybe down to the circumstantial. I just think I would not be surprised if other people are involved or if there were, co-conspirators, which we'll probably have to wait till trial. There was that group out there that was allegedly, linked to it. Not the weird B cult people, but, other people. So we'll have to see. Definitely some strange times. If it's a federal felony and you conceal misprision of a felony, you will get in trouble if you knew beforehand. Maybe they're trumping that up on him too, just to get him flexing on him and saying hey, if you don't testify or if you don't help us out, then, we're going to give you the maximum kind of thing. For all we know, this other kid who's obviously got mental issues, he's just a kid. The prospect of looking at 20 years in federal prison is pretty convincing to turn on your gay lover, I imagine. So it's going to be, I think the trial's going to be pretty bonkers. And that's why we're going to, commit the money to be there and be on site. And boy, if we can get into the courtroom, that would be crazy. Maybe I could hire, I'm looking at maybe seeing if I could hire Viva or Barnes, because they already have courtroom credentials, or Good Logic, Joe from Good Logic, because he was at the Diddy trial and he's a friend of the channel and he's been in the courtrooms. So since he was at the Diddy trial, maybe he would be a correspondent for us out there, which would be great because then we'd have not just someone in the courtroom, but an actual lawyer. So it would be pretty cool. Now, I don't know what he would charge, but I bet you if I covered his accommodations, he could just report for himself and report for us. I could probably work something out for him. That would make sense. Yeah, so it'll be pretty interesting. This weekend, got a couple of things here. All right, I got this topic here. How's everyone doing today? Pretty big crowd for a Friday, to be honest with you. Joe streams trials on his channel. I know, but it could be a good win-win for Joe. He could correspond for us, grow his channel, and grow his channel at the same time. Jeremy, there's going to be a 6'3", 320-pound jacked-up ex-cop in that jail cell. Yeah, almost certainly. Yeah. I'm actually surprised Koberger hasn't been killed yet. I mean, not that I would support murder, but just based on what I thought, based on, boy, the whole case was weird. And, I thought that he would get popped by now just because that's what happens. I don't know many serial killers that like live out their lives in prison till very old age. Although, John Wayne Gacy did, right? John Wayne Gacy did. Dahmer got killed really quick. I think because there was a racial element there because he was targeting black folks. So when you talk about like Tyler Robinson targeting Christians, there are a lot of Christian, there's a brotherhood in prison for that too. I don't know. I have a feeling he would, BTK also did too. Yeah, but BTK didn't get caught until he was like 70, right? Manson did. That's also true. So most of them actually do. The exact opposite is true. Charles Manson did. BTK did. What's the other guy? The guy from Florida. Gacy was executed. That's right. He was. But he didn't get executed until... No, he did get executed pretty quickly. That was in the 90s, right? That was on TV. Son of Sam is still in there. Richard Ramirez, yeah, Night Stalker. Who am I trying to think of? Hillary's still alive. That's true. No, the guy I'm trying to think of. Why can't I think of him? The co-ed killer. Holy crap. He defended himself at trial. He must be, I think he got executed too, right? Because that was in Florida. Ted Bundy. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he got executed. Yeah. Bundy got executed. John Wayne Gacy got executed. I think Illinois has gotten rid of the death penalty since then, right? They have the death penalty in Utah. So Ted Kaczynski, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people do love their serial killers. I mean, I bet you that that Luigi Mangione guy is going to live long in prison. Koberger's another POS who should face a death penalty. Well, yeah, but they pled out. They did have the death penalty there, but they pled out because the state didn't have a strong enough case as they led us to believe. So they pled out at the last second so that he could get out of the death penalty. So now the taxpayers will have to pay for him to sit in prison for the next 75 years. Yeah, Bundy was 96. Yeah. You know what was wild? You remember they used to have like huge tailgate parties outside these executions. I remember seeing footage. Let me see if I can pull up footage from, I think it was, I'm almost positive it was Bundy's execution. Like there were dudes chugging beers. Like, I think, is that the one I'm thinking of? There were like keggers outside his execution. Yeah, here. Yeah.
Ted Bundy, even in death, stirred hatred. An unprecedented crowd of hundreds.
Now, I happen to think if you think murder is wrong, then you probably shouldn't celebrate the death penalty. I understand, like, I don't care, but I'm not going to be out there like chugging beers and selling t-shirts. But it was a weird time. This was 1989 that this happened. Papa Chan says, hey, may I ask for you to shout out my boys, Ricardo and Tony. Dad is so proud of you both. Dad will be there until the day he dies. After that, you'll have to look up or down. Any advice to shout out your kids? Well, shout out to your kids, man. I don't take advice from me. But you sound like a good dad, unless I read a troll comment there, which would also be hilarious. Honky Kong says, yeah, the Clintons walk free today. Yeah, I mean, there's no more prolific murderer than Hillary Clinton, allegedly. Actually, just kidding. I love Hillary Clinton. I'm a big fan. I don't think she's ever done anything wrong. you know, I'm not suicidal. Like, just so you guys know. Why not justice was done? Yeah, I mean, I'm not like tutting my nose down on people that would celebrate, you know, justice being done. But like, as a Christian, it's, you know, it's a little dicey. But hey, Melanie supports it. And she's like as hardcore a Christian as I know. Let's see. How much to shill another channel? Have your prices gone up? No, my prices are still the same. And yeah, let's talk about this Ilhan Omar story because it's actually wild. So things are definitely heating up, which is obviously stemming from current investigations in Minneapolis against a massive amount of fraud, which was thought to be $1 billion at the time that it came out. Now many people are saying it's as high as $5 or $6 billion. I assume the chat will make their jokes, but you know, there's a lot of questions around different communities, in particular, the Somali community in Minnesota. Now, obviously, hashtag not all Somalians. I mean, I you know, I'm sure that the overwhelming majority came here looking for a better life and used existing immigration laws to come here and, you know, didn't break any laws. And, you know, quite frankly, you know, that's a different conversation. But Ilhan Omar seems to have committed immigration fraud, and which would void her asylum status and would also then void her governmental position. And you see this Ilhan Omar, you know, she's been accused by a GOP opponent of opening up the doors to massive Minneapolis fraud. I mean, look, everybody in charge there, not just Ilhan Omar, but Tim Walz, right down to the governors, right down to the people who are, you know, signing the checks for a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of blame to go around. We've all been around long enough to know nobody's going to go to jail over this, which is sad because they stole billions of dollars from hungry people who needed financial assistance. And, you know, probably they're, you know, and the people that they defrauded, that money was supposed to go to people who were hungry or needed help. That's all races of people and all groups of people. Like, everyone was hurt by this equally. You would think that, you know, this is why I hate government. Like, you would think that they would maybe give a shit and like reach across the aisle and say, like, hey, look, everyone was hurt equally here. And let's get some justice. But people they stick to their partisan lines and they're like, well, you know, she's a Democrat, so I'm not going to condemn her. Or Republicans are like, well, I'm only condemning her because she's a Democrat. Instead of people saying, look, this is bad, very bad. Billions of dollars that was supposed to go to hungry people, people who needed financial assistance, people who were disabled, military members, people who are physically, mentally disabled, people who are at or below the poverty line that needed assistance. You know, that doesn't matter. Those people voted all different types of ways. They're all different types of skin colors, races, religions. It was like a crime that truly hurt everybody. And of course, we're just worried about who's a Republican and who's a Democrat. So President Trump is occasionally a practitioner of an unsparing form of political logic, having taken an interest in a massive public programs fraud committed by an almost exclusively Somali cast of perpetrators in Minnesota. He has followed up with an unfriendly comment about Minnesota's 5th District Representative, saying she comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. The president told a crowd in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania on Tuesday, we ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? So correction on that. I was corrected on that. She married her brother so that he could get in, not so she could get in. So Omar is a Somali fraud exhibit A, and her district was at the center of gravity in the massive feeding of future fraud case. I wrote about the Washington Free Beacon in March. Despite what you may think, Omar has made valuable contribution to our history. She goes to show that there is such a thing as a new kind of political scandal. Mark Twain famously observed, it could probably be shown by facts and figures that there are no distinctly Native American criminal class except Congress. Mark Twain was a very smart man. You know, I'm a proud member now, new member of the Nothing Ever Happens tribe. And this will probably go down just like that. Republicans will be like, yeah, deport her. Democrats will be like, this is racist. and then nothing will happen. And meanwhile, the tens of thousands of people who are supposed to get that aid never got their aid. They're going hungry. They can't pay their electric bills, their heating bills. Nobody gives a shit about them. They just care about the political points they could score. And it's sad because like I just want stuff to get done. And I feel like this is such a slam dunk that if you take your tribalism out of it, your political tribalism out of it, everyone would be like, this is crazy. Everyone should be in jail around this. Or at the very minimum, shouldn't be in the government, right? Like, it's not crazy to be like Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud, so she shouldn't be in government. The same would be true of any Republican that did the same thing. But then, Republicans would be like, this is a witch hunt. And the Democrats would be like, wait, what's the, and they won't go to jail either. I mean, there's 24, basically politicians that we know are openly corrupt. And that's just in the stuff that's actually illegal. We don't talk about the politicians like, the Republican, what's Eye Patch McCain? I forget his name down in Texas. He's a piece of garbage. Lindsey Graham, Republican piece of garbage. There's no war these guys won't send your kids to die in. And that's an R or a D. That's one thing they do agree on. Sorry for the aside there, but that Mark Twain quote got me going. He says, I'm talking about Omar's marriage to her brother, Ahmed Nur Saeed Almai. Trump may have garbled the specifics, but he got the upshot of the story right. Omar's family brought Almi over from London in 2009 to try and extract him from a gay lifestyle. And that is the context in which the congresswoman actually married him. Well, that's not very progressive. So this must be, what's his name? What's his nickname? Dirty Dandy. That is definitely a gay porno name like that. So she married him to get him into the country. I mean, this is just open and shut. Like that's a felony. Anybody who wasn't in government and didn't have millions of dollars to defend themselves would be in jail for this, Republican or Democrat. But just like the Epstein files, nothing will happen. I started writing about Omar for Powerline, the website in which I am original contributor, back in 2016, when she defeated a 20-term incumbent feminist heroine, Phyllis Khan, in the Democratic Farmer Labor primary seat in Minnesota State Legislature. A reader had directed me to a post on a message board called Somali Spot, which has since been removed from the internet. It asserted that Omar had married her husband, Ahmed, the father of her children, in 2002, but then married her brother in 2009. Her campaign website advertised Hersey as her husband and made no mention of Almai. Look, I mean, it's pretty obvious what happened here. I mean, we have the marriage license, which is why it's so frustrating, which is why Republicans suck ass just as much as Democrats do, because this should be a slam dunk. Why hasn't this woman been charged for immigration fraud? We have it's been an open secret for 11 years. And really the marriage was in 2009. And I suppose maybe they're saying, well, it's not illegal to marry your brother, but I think it is illegal to marry. I don't think you can marry family. Not that I've ever looked into it. I know I'm from the Midwest, but we don't marry our kin here. It's a little further south. And this is, it's weird that she's flatly denying this because the evidence is overwhelming. It's not even up for debate. We have the marriage license, so put her in cuffs. And this, again, the same should be true of any Republican who does this crap. It's people get so caught up in their my sideism that they just excuse, why aren't more people pissed? Look, you have a Republican president. Why isn't he just ordering her arrest? Pam Bondi, perhaps the biggest pile of crap ever, head of the DOJ, is doing nothing. Tom Homan is doing something about it, allegedly. But I mean, my confidence levels on this, saying that anything's going to come from this is close to zero. And I don't want to I'm not trying to black pill. I don't like doing that. And I try to have some sort of silver lining, but there's no, I've just seen nothing, right? All these people that, I mean, it started with, what happened to all those emails? Hillary's emails. Oh, lock her up. Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to lock her up. That would just be a bad precedent. It's like, okay, so no. So it's just all one big club and you ain't in it kind of thing. And this, we know that the judicial system has no problem prosecuting Republicans. I mean, they went after Trump in every way they could, both legally and illegally. But, this stuff with Swalwell in California, another stupid mortgage fraud case. What about these people who are really committing real crimes? And nobody cares. I mean, it'll make headlines for the week and, Trump will talk about it and then nothing will happen. I don't care for this kind of protected class of government officials. She committed immigration fraud very clearly. It's not even up for debate. Her brother or whatever should be deported. I think he's in Africa right now, or South Africa, I think right now. So he's not even in the country anymore. But can we agree? Why does it have to be, hey, this is what, this is who I voted for, so I just excuse all their bad behavior. I regularly call out people what's his stupid name? Why can't I think of his name? I always call him Eye Patch McCain. Now he's suing Sean Ryan, or threatening to sue Shaw Ryan. The guy's a total loser. Dan Crenshaw. But you just don't see that level of critique. And it's frustrating to watch because, every 4 or 8 years is going to be a different letter in front of the name in the White House, but it's just more of the same stuff. I mean, you could just commit immigration fraud boldly and then be sitting House of Representative member. That's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And we'll see if anything happens from this. It would probably be the single biggest story in terms of political corruption since Watergate. I know that classified files, but literally every president ever has piles of classified files at their house. Not that I think that's a good thing, but they prosecuted Donald Trump over it. And then Joe Biden had piles of classified documents next to his Corvette in his garage. And they're like, he's just a well-meaning old man. It's like, well, it's either illegal or it isn't. Okay, so you went after Trump for it, then you should have went after Joe Biden for it. There's no continuity in the justice system. And part of that is because you get people in front of the DOJ or these other departments who are also politically motivated and captured, right? I mean, the best system we have is the Supreme Court, and that's still, you can, for example, people saying, hey, Clarence Thomas, I love Clarence Thomas, he's great, but people are like, well, you should retire so that they can promote a Republican-leaning justice instead of a Democrat. It's like, can't we just get people to interpret the law with no bias? It just doesn't. It's just, I know I'm being idealistic. It's because it's Friday. I know it's not ever going to be that way, but it is what it is. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. And by the way, with that, guys, it's Friday, so you guys know I end stream a little bit earlier on Fridays. We will be, we have a massive week of shows next week. Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit will be here. We've got a couple senators coming on. I can't say who yet for security reasons. Congress people. We've got Andrew Colvett. We've got Russell Brand. We've got James O'Keefe, and many, many more. So, but make sure that you have your notifications on, because they won't. All the live streams won't all be at kind of the normal time. They'll be whenever. Whenever the guest gets there. So we're going to kind of have to vamp for a while. And then when they arrive, we'll go live with them. I think I'm going to kick it over. I'm going to show Jimmy Dore some love. I love Jimmy Dore. We don't always agree on everything, but I do think he does a great job. And so I'm going to send everyone over to Jimmy Dore's stream after this. And we'll probably do another stream this weekend as I get caught up for next week. And I hope you guys all have a safe, healthy, happy weekend. And I hope the Packers crush Denver. and Chicago loses bigly, and Giannis gets back soon. So we'll see with that. Otherwise, we'll see you again on Monday at 2 Eastern at our regularly scheduled show. And you guys will have a great weekend. So go say hi to Jimmy Dore for me. And we'll have Jimmy on next week too, I think. We'll see what's going on with that. But I don't know why. Wise Fool says, "Hey Jeremy, been meaning to contribute. Here's something for Amfest." Hey, thank you, dude. It should be cool, dude. It's gonna be a good time. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you